years, Jamal Bryant chose not to speak publicly about the complicated history involving her former husband, Jamal Bryant, and his current wife, Carrie Turner Bryant. She often said that silence felt easier than reopening painful memories, especially because their family includes 3 daughters who have always remained her top priority. However, as new conversations began circulating online and questions continued to grow, she eventually decided it was time to share her perspective. According to her, the situation surrounding Jamal's new marriage is far more layered than many people realize, and the emotional impact did not begin when the public first heard about the relationship. When Jamal announced on November 15, 2024, that he had remarried, the news caught the public's attention almost immediately. Carrie, a faith-based author, speaker and minister who works at New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Atlanta, had already built a professional reputation within church circles, but many outside observers were unfamiliar with her. To the public, the wedding seemed sudden, yet people close to the church community claimed that whispers about their connection had existed long before the official announcement. Some church members believed the two had grown close gradually through ministry work, while others suspected the relationship had developed quietly behind the scenes over a longer period. Speculation intensified when reports surfaced that Jamal and Carrie had been seen together months earlier at an ice cream shop.
I desire a man who can communicate to me. Tell me you ain't gotta be perfect, but I can't work with what I don't know. Tell me what I don't know. Love me, be gentle with me. The Bible says that he washes her with the word of the Lord.
Absolutely. Super happy for him and for the church. Like, New Birth really needs a first lady.
Yes.
That's important. And we need New Birth to be happy with Jamal because he has a lot of tuition to pay. All of my girls will be in college.
Right.
So.
In Florida. Photos and sightings quickly spread across social media, leading to debates about whether the outing was purely professional or something more personal. Supporters of the couple argued that co-workers often meet outside the office for casual conversations, especially when planning events or ministry projects. Critics, however, felt the situation suggested a deeper connection that had not yet been publicly acknowledged. Jamal and Carrie both responded by saying their earlier meetings were related to church responsibilities, and that rumors about a secret romance were exaggerated. Even so, the public discussion did not fade easily, and the speculation followed them for months. Interestingly, the controversy itself seemed to bring them closer. Rather than immediately confirming their relationship, they chose to spend time getting to know one another privately. Friends close to the couple said they wanted to make sure they were emotionally ready before announcing anything publicly.
When we got to the ice cream parlor, I was not there because I was kicking it with him. I was there because we were solidifying my doctoral program. That was the reason why I was in Florida at the time. His cohort was there. I came down the last day so that I was able to finalize everything with getting my cohort off the ground, which he was so instrumental.
Especially because both had previously experienced complicated personal situations. Eventually, after deciding they were serious about their future together, they married and began addressing rumors more directly. Carrie often described their relationship as one guided by faith, explaining that their connection developed naturally after she began working at the church where Jamal serves as pastor. She has repeatedly stated that, in the early stages, she intentionally kept interactions professional, because she did not want anyone to assume she had gained opportunities through favoritism rather than dedication. Despite those explanations, the story became more complicated when Jamal began sharing her own memories of that period. She explained that what made the situation difficult for her to accept was the belief that Carrie had already been present in Jamal's life during the time she and Jamal were attempting to rebuild their relationship. For Jamal, the issue was,
I think I've seen so much maturity in him. He has an overwhelming sense of humility and humbleness. I think that we communicate so much better now. I mean, our communication is on point.
Not simply that her former husband remarried. It was the feeling that overlapping timelines had created confusion and emotional hurt. She has often emphasized that relationships are rarely as simple as they appear from the outside, and in her view, many of the key details happened long before the public learned anything. Jamal and Jamal's history stretches back decades. The two were married in 2002 and built a family together, welcoming 3 daughters who remained central to both of their lives. From the outside, they seemed like a strong couple balancing ministry, family, and public responsibilities. However, Geisel later shared that the marriage faced serious challenges behind closed doors. She eventually decided to end the relationship in 2009 after discovering repeated acts of infidelity. According to her, the decision was not made lightly. She spent years trying to preserve the marriage for the sake of their family, but ongoing trust issues made it impossible to continue. Rumors about Jamal's relationships with other women had circulated for years, and at one point there were even allegations that he had fathered. Certain situations caused deep emotional pain and forced her to rethink what she wanted for her future. She has spoken openly about how difficult that period was, describing it as one of the most stressful chapters of her life. Despite the separation, the two remained connected through co-parenting, working together to raise their daughters respectfully and maintain a stable family environment. Over time, their frequent communication as parents gradually rebuilt a sense of friendship. Being present for birthdays, school events, and family milestones reminded them of the bond they once shared. Eventually, they decided to explore whether reconciliation might be possible.
I can't tell you how happy I am, how happy my family is, how happy my children are, and I hope my church is happy for me.
When Geisel publicly revealed that they were spending time together again, she explained that they were moving slowly and focusing on personal growth. She believed both of them had matured and learned from past mistakes. At that moment, she felt hopeful that they might create a healthier version of their relationship and avoid repeating the painful experiences that had separated them in the first place. However, the renewed relationship did not last. Not long after sharing their plans to try again, Geisel later announced that the reconciliation had ended.
And so people were like, oh, they've been dating since 2017. I didn't know this man in 2017. I knew of him, but I didn't know him.
She explained that distance played a major role. Living in separate cities made it difficult for them to spend meaningful time together, and scheduling conflicts created ongoing challenges. Eventually, they concluded that remaining friends and co-parents was a healthier choice than forcing a romantic relationship that could not function consistently. At first, she avoided discussing the breakup in detail, choosing instead to keep the
Afraid to let her go because she gonna blow the shit up the same way she blew the last pastor up in Texas.
Conversation respectful and private. The tone of the public discussion shifted once Jamal and Carrie later announced their engagement. At that point, many people began asking Geisel how she felt about the news. Initially, she made only brief comments, often choosing humor or light remarks rather than emotional responses. Over time, though, she acknowledged that the situation had been complicated for her, especially because she believed Carrie had been present during earlier attempts at reconciliation. When asked directly about Carrie,